Welcome to CivilNet. My guest today from Annecy, France, is Ms. Tiziana Loschi, who is the director of the International Annecy Animated Film Festival. Tiziana, thank you for joining us on CivilNet.
Thank you to give me the opportunity to talk about the festival.
Oh, I'm happy to give you the opportunity because, as you know, you're not just the director of Annecy, but you're also a member of the board of the ReAnimania Armenia Festival.
Exactly.
And
right.
That's a festival that gives us a great deal of pleasure once a year, and so we're happy to talk to you.
I'm happy too.
Let's talk about the global value of animated film beyond just for children, and then also talk about the value of such a festival for the world and also for Armenia. You know, I started life out as a children's film librarian, and it amazed me to discover that beyond the commercial cartoons of television, that there is an amazing artistic world out there.
That's right. And I would like to focus on the fact that, of course, in the mind of all the people, animation film are dedicated, first of all, for children. But what we try to do in the Annecy Festival, which show everything is done all over the world the last year, is that most of the short film that we have, also the feature film, which is more normal, I would say, most of the short film should be shown to children and can be shown because they deliver very strong messages from all the cultures that you can find in the world.
You know, it's in this part of the world, in Armenia, in the former Soviet space, the familiarity with the wonderful, brilliant cartoons of East Europe are still very deep. I mean, it's part of the cultural dialogue.
It's right. And that's why, well, last year, for example, we had a special program from Armenian directors, and we have noticed that, of course, after the Soviet time, it was harder because no more state studio existed. But now we see that there is a kind of new generation of director. They have lots of things to say, and especially in these countries like Armenia, which have very strong history and hard history. And animation is a great way to show something sometimes very hard in a wonderful way, emotion way, but also perhaps less art than fiction.
What is the lesson to be learned from other places in the world where the same thing happened, where state studios disappeared, but the artists are still as artistic as ever? What's the lesson? What's the pattern to follow?
I think that perhaps even if at that moment that this kind of state studio disappeared, it was very hard, perhaps it gave a kind of power, more power than anywhere in the world, because they had to fight with this new context that did not help them in creating. And as everybody knows, creation is the best way to express what you live inside. And perhaps it was a kind of sign of destiny that gave this new generation more motivation to succeed.
You're one of those optimists that believes that every kind of obstacle is a piece of encouragement, huh?
You know that psychologists say that.
Yes, they do. Tell us why you would want to be a member of the board of the ReAnimania Armenia Festival. I know, what's the value internationally?
Well, first of all, you should know that in Annecy, at the Annecy Festival, of course, we give a possibility to show movies from the majors, from United States, from all the people working in Europe. But one of our main objectives is to support the emerging, well, even if Armenia is not really emerging, it is recently, but some other territories like, you know, India or Latin America, and we are involved beyond the festival only 1 week here.
Yes, in June, right? At the beginning of June every year.
Yes, from 10 to 15. But all the rest of the year, of course, we work. And one of our special mission is to be part of the developing of associations, you know, kind of organism, which help creation in animation from everywhere. That's why I was very proud when I was asked to be part of the board, first of all, and if I can help in any way I can, I would be happy to show that perhaps in 5 years or 10 years, Armenia will be more present in the festival, but also in the, you know, world community of animation.
Please, let's also talk a little bit about the commercial value of this kind of interaction. That this is, I'm not an artist, but it occurs to me that this is one of the areas where it's possible to participate in an international global market.
Yeah. So it is, how can we help? First of all, we can help as part of the Annecy Festival, and because I have a big network like Max Howard, for example.
Who's also here every year for ReAnimania, and we love Max Howard.
Yeah, and it's helpful to be connected, and it's really difficult to have a connection with all the people working everywhere because you cannot do the, you know, trip to go everywhere. We can help in being in connection to, for example, develop teaching, because it is really important to have special schools dedicated to animation, so to have teachers coming to Armenia. And we can also help in getting input, getting in connection with other producers, other directors, to organize co-production, to share the experience. And in the end, it will be a commercial value, obviously, because you can, you know, develop also business and selling movies or be part of a production for commercials for television or in a feature film. In the end, it's, you know, it means working more with the rest of the world.
Well, in all aspects, that's what Armenia strives for, to work more in the rest of the world, which is why Armenia's ReAnimania, Vrej Kasuni, its founders' efforts, your efforts as part of the board are all very valuable. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for speaking with us on CivilNet.
It's a real pleasure, and all the best to all Armenian people. I like you so much.
Thank you very much. Tiziana Loschi, who is the director of the Annecy Animated Film Festival, first week of June, beginning of June in France every year. And Ms. Loschi is also a member of the board of the ReAnimania Armenian Animated Film Festival, which takes place every year in the fall, October, November. Thank you for being with us on CivilNet.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you for following CivilNet.